Welcome back to another episode on the Landscaping Podcast, powered by Landscaping Unlimited. This is our special New Year's Day episode. Happy New Year's, Shay.
Happy New Year's to you, Zach, and everybody listening. Hope you guys have a fantastic new year. Hope you had a great 2025. And so we'll start it off with a bang by listening to the best podcast there is out there.
That is absolutely correct. So we started this thing in September of 2025. We've got 3 months rolling. We're entering 2026 with a full year of just focus and momentum, and we're just pumped. I came on board in June. We had a vision. We got a bunch of things in play. 2026, full motion. It'll be the first full year where Landscaping Limited has a digital division for the entire calendar year. I am pumped. We have goals, things that we want to do, people we want to talk to. There's so much going on this side of the house, and then our hardscape side, we've got goals. Our landscaping side, we've got goals. There's a lot of little projects we got slipped in there. We've already shared with you that we've got the Super Bowl and the Olympic ads, which I am pumped beyond all get out. I cannot explain to you how excited I am to just see our logo and our name, the podcast out there talking about what it is we're doing on that scale. But Shay, we've got a few other things we haven't quite discussed yet for 2026 coming down the pipeline. Let's talk about that.
We've got some things. We just left the office a little while ago and got registered for some training, got registered for some testing, trying to do some more approvals for some other testing. And so it's going to be a busy beginning of the year, getting things set up to get us where we want to be by the end of 2026. A lot of this happened in the beginning of 2025. And so, it was a lot of talk and preparation, and now we're getting into the actual doing of the preparation, which is going pretty seamless due to all the conversations we've had, 2025, planning out the best way to do it all. And I think that's the best way to start out a year, is with a good solid plan and just continuing to move forward with that instead of just on a whim, like most people's New Year's resolutions where you're going to the gym and then on the second you're not there no more.
I'm out.
So
I'm
excited.
Cool. One of the things that actually really stands out to me is we've had a lot of these conversations and seen these things come to life. And where people do talk about all right, what are my New Year's resolutions? This started months ago.
Yeah.
And it's just a continuation of that list into the new year. But I will say there is something poetic about it being January 1st and about it being the first of the year. There is something to be said about that. And so I'm excited to see the writing on the wall of we're going to do this, and then 2026, let's roll.
Yep.
And here we are rolling right into it. And it's we said we we're going to do it. And just to get to here to it happening, to us, it's just another day. I'm just doing what it is we do. But here we are actually experiencing something months ago we were talking about. And even before I was here, months before then, that you were saying, hey, this is where I want to go with this. And do you want to be a part of it? I was like, dude, here we are. It's happening.
Yeah, I think it was, you started working in June 17th. So dates always ring a bell with me. They're always something that I can revert back to of they started on this date, we did this project, so I can always recall. And I remember, I'm pretty sure it was the end of February. I had just left a couple of training classes that week, and I had this vision in my head of where I wanted to be, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna text Zach and spill this out to him, see if he wants to come aboard. And so literally almost a year ago, we started this kind of conversation of where we're at now and putting it all into motion, and now we're getting ready to hit the ground running with it. So it's 2026 is going to be awesome. And saying that, 2026, I just figured out how to date 2025 on a piece of paper without writing 2024. So now I get to start over to 2026.
So looking at that, we were looking around at just some of the equipment that's around us. One of the big things we have touched on, we haven't dove too deep into, but I do want to bring back up, is sending one of our crews all electric to some of our commercial properties. So that's something we have happening for the first time. You want to talk about that?
So yeah, one of our crews that works mostly residential and smaller commercial properties, we're getting ready to convert that entire truck to all electric handheld equipment, where they're going to be running DeWalt 60-volt handheld line, commercial line. And so we're excited to see all that stuff come about. I'm excited to see the guys test out the equipment before we put it on their truck to make sure they like it, which I know they will. And ultimately, I might not give that crew a choice, but I do like to hear their feedback on what they like and what they don't like. And hopefully it works good for us. I think it will. I think it's going to increase some time we have where the guys are always complaining about, their fuel cans leaking or mixed fuel, spilling in carburetors, the weed eaters losing power. So I'm excited to see all of that stuff go away, the maintenance nightmares of handhelds and carburetors. So I'm excited to see how that goes.
when you look at the client's end, one of the things that I've noticed is the conversations they're having of like, hey, during these hours, we're trying to get this done, and they're trying to do a job, we're trying to do a job, and it's like we're finding the technology available to put us in that direction, which goes to show the continued motion of this company towards the next thing, and not, well, this is how we do it, you just got to deal with it. It's like we're looking to work with people. There are some times where you can't work around it, and you explain that to the client, like, hey, we can't go around this. This is how it is. Let's see what we can find in the future, but right now, this is what we've got. But when we do have this opportunity, we can say, hey, we're looking to work with you. We're looking to find the batteries. They can operate the equipment. Maybe it's a little bit quieter on our end, a little less maintenance required, which is fantastic. But again, it's like a win-win. And that's the type of company you want to see, because if a company's going to sit there and say, well, this is our way or the highway, well, then they're like, fine, let me find somebody who cares about me more than just their ego. And that's one of the biggest things we've been pushing this whole time is this is a people business. We've got to work with these people. Just today, we were talking about educational classes, and some that I'll be going to, and some that we'll be going to, and some that you'll be going to. And it's like, when you're there, one of the things that I'm most excited about is meeting the people who teach these classes and the other people learning about it. And so like, from focusing on our clients to focusing other people into this, I love to see that this is an industry that is continuing to grow, both in their service to the people they serve, but as well as serving each other in the way that they're trying to teach and pass on the knowledge to help them get better at what they do.
Yes, I'm excited for the classes that we just signed you up for, the exam we just signed you up for. So Zach's not going to fail this test. He's going to get his pesticide applicator license. I'm excited to have someone else on our team that has taken the exam. Not that he can't work under mine and doesn't already know what to do, but I'm excited for him to have that credentials. It's just something that, it just means something when you've got that, under your name on your business card. Also, I'm excited for Zach to experience some of the way these classes are taught, because he's never been in the green industry side of the classes, whereas I grew up in that. So I'm excited for him to see all that so that we can implement another phase of what landscaping is going to look like in 2026, on our digital side, on our social media platforms, on our website. And I'm excited to see all that work out. A lot of it's all revolved around education, because the industry is nothing if you're not educated. Education is important and it's crucial. We talk about, education in the school system and the public school system and all that stuff all the time, and how maybe college isn't for everybody, and you come out to the industry. And I don't want that to ever get conflicted with, education is important, but you're saying you don't go to college. Well, no, you might not need to go to college. It might not be for you. However, education is still important. And there's other ways to get that. For example, we're going to these classes and we're going to continue ed, and Zach's going to get his certification. I'm going to get my continuing ed for my licensing so that I can continue to practice all the stuff that we do, as well as fulfill another license in a few months as well. So education is important in our industry.
One of the things that I think about, especially on New Year's Day specifically, is how, again, we go back to never being satisfied. I'm already looking at, all right, I'm going to have the certification, I'm going to get the license, whatever it is that I need in this, and then this, and then, so I'm already looking at the middle of 2026, so like Q3, and then I'm looking at 2027, while in day one of 2026. And so I do think it's important to also slow down and soak in these moments as we plan out the next moments. And that is something I've been conscientiously doing since being here, is like really enjoying this as we built it, because I'm like, you only get to go through that once. And so it's like, after that, now we've been a year in, so there's only one time to do it one time. After that, it's like, all right, we're in motion, to the point now where you know exactly how to run a podcast. But I remember the first time, like, where do I put the mic? And what do I do? And do I have to talk into it? And it's like, now I just hand it to you and you go. And I noticed that just then when I gave it to you, there was no discussion. And I was like, man, like, look how far we've come. And so it's one of those, like, I always soak it in. And so going to this class, it'll be my first time actually in a class like that. And so like, I'm looking forward to it because I know this is something new. And I'm excited for it because it's something new. You don't get that as much. Like, the older you get, the less new things there really are to do. And so when you do get those new experiences and environments, it's cool to soak that in. And that's something for everybody. That goes for everything and everywhere. Even when things are hard. Like, there are certain challenges I'm facing right now that I'm looking at with where we're trying to go. And I'm like, how will I solve that Rubik's Cube in front of me? And I welcome that challenge because it's something new that my brain has to work on. And one of my biggest fears is around like Alzheimer's and dementia. It's when you start to lose the capacity of like your mind. And so looking at this, I think one of the best things we can do is to continue to challenge ourselves, because it makes your mind continue to work. Like, my mind has to be strong. It's got to be focused. It's got to solve problems. And that's why when people talk about retirement, like sitting on a beach and having a margarita and chill, and like, that sounds like a great time, but like for a day. After that, I'm like, my brain needs that stimulation. And so I'm excited with what this year is bringing for my own personal just growth and development. but also as the company seeing all the things we're looking to do. I mean, there's quite a bit. And with that, I wanted to bring it back to you on where we're going. One of the things that I'm really looking forward to is the training program that we're bringing to the company as well. It's getting the courses going. I'm pumped, and I've not really pushed this because we're not ready to bring it out just yet. In 2026, we're making courses for our company. So the guys are going to learn from you the proper way to handle these things. We're going to get some of the guys on there, and they're going to kind of demonstrate what right looks like. But we're also going to have some things where you can start helping other landscapers see the best way to run their equipment, whether it's maintenance, whether it's a business structure, whatever it is we have going. Yep. You're going to be the subject matter expert where we can sit and put you in the position to help teach others all the things you've learned through decades of experience. And that is, again, probably as the digital guy and the digital side of me, being able to put that together and craft it, I'm pumped because it's going to show our guys before they even get here what right looks like. Yep. It's going to answer all the questions. They're going to be able to see you and get to hear from you before they're sitting in front of you with wearing the logo and ready to go work for our clients. And so I'm just excited to see that starting to take shape because it's one thing that I really think lacks in the landscaping industry, based off my observation from kind of an outsider looking in to now an insider looking out, is that the technological and professional development of the people within it, instead of being like ragtag bearded dudes go cut the tree down, like I kind of make that joke, but there is that stereotype to where now it's like we're educated, we're informed, we're technologically advanced, we're prepared, we handle our clients with care. Even the software that we're starting to use through Jobber, a better seamless experience where the clients get to experience all that to where we're almost at the point now where people want to pay us. And shout out to Jesse Cole for kind of planting that seed where people are excited because you gave a good service. And that's what right looks like. When people are like, I'm happy to give you the money because you gave me a great service. And there's never any gray area in between that. It's black and white. It's good or bad. And for us, it's good to have our clients pleased with our service and us providing them a good quality experience in the process.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like Jesse Cole said, getting rid of all the pain points, which are the pay points, or everywhere that you have a communication issue. Those are areas where you have to fine tune and polish. And not that we've never used software before, because we certainly have. We've kept track of all of our customers on clip for the longest time. However, we've seen some changes where it's like we need to adjust with the times to make this more seamless, to make it more efficient, to make communication more two-way instead of one-way, or lapse in time between conversations, and not just with the customers but also with our employees, which then brings us to our SOPs. Every company has SOPs, and you learn the correct way or procedure to do something. In the green industry, a lot of times it's always been taught on the job, in the field, at the spur of the moment. Hey, we're doing this job, this is what you do, now don't mess it up. I think I'm looking most forward to 2026 in that aspect of creating that on the digital landscape to where it's offered for all of our employees, free of will, because it's going to be best if they have access to it. So having that, and then also making it where we're expanding the company on the digital side as well, to where we're offering these courses, where we're able to sell and promote and broadcast and actually go teach seminars and stuff like that. So I'm excited for 2026 and how far landscaping can go, and how it's not just the grassroots of you're cutting, mowing, and blowing, and what we actually are capable of doing in the industry.
And people see us on the podcast. Just imagine they see this guy on a stage or something talking to him. I've been saying this for a while. I've done this. I've done public speaking. I enjoy being in front of crowds, whether it's Mighty Young Men, whether it's standing in front of an audience. It doesn't matter to me where you put me. I just let it roll. Like, it comes into my soul, it catches on fire, and I just send it. And I try to light that spark in others. And I've explained that. And I've been like, yo, he does this too. You just don't see it as much in those environments. But like, slowly but surely, I'm like pushing him out the door, and people are seeing it and they're really digging it. And what I like most is, experience-wise, nobody's really going to argue. Like, this, you were born and bred into this world. You know this like the back of your hand. It is not even a question as to whether you know landscaping and hardscaping. Nobody would challenge that. But when people look at you like, well, does he know public speaking and can deliver that way? People are finding out more and more. Yeah, what do you do with your hands?
Yeah, get up to like
more and more to the point where a lot of our podcasts this year, a lot of the episodes, where people saying like that message you said about how you feel about your faith, how you feel about interacting with others, what it is to be good. You have tapped into something where people are like, damn, Shay, that's really well said. And I'm like, I've had the luxury of having these private conversations. I'm glad the world's getting some of that. And I think in 2026, they're going to see even more And like I said, I know we're already mapped in for a few of the Mighty Young Men and hopefully expanding that. There's a few individuals there, Mr. D especially, giving him a shout out, who we're looking to continue those conversations to help the youth. But beyond just the youth, in the green industry and the other experts, we're looking to work with other professionals. Like I cannot wait, like I said, in this class, I can't wait to see the other people going for their license or certifications, whatever courses we go to. Even when we were in Louisville and we were talking to all them, I was like, man, like I get you people. And I said that then, I was like, you know, everybody here that's wearing their version of their Landscaping Limited, their company, their hardscape, landscape, construction, whatever. I know the type of person they are. I know the lifestyle they live because I know the industry. And so you know the type of person you're working with, and to rub shoulders with them and get to know them, you learn with them, you teach them. And it's just the more that you're able to open yourself out, like a lighthouse, the brighter you can shine, the more ships can see it. And they'll either know to like stay away from it and mistakes that you've made. And so you're teaching them so they don't crash on those rocks. Or they're knowing, hey, I can go there, there's land over there. And so they can come and they can ask the questions. Hey man, I'm starting out, like the gentleman from at the first dinner. We met at the table. Hey, I'm in my first year of business. Like, what's up? And like you're just dumping like all the experience. They're like, yes. All right, cool. And so when I look at that, those who've been in for decades, those who are just entering the industry, to see you be able to reach out and kind of connect with them and share all that you've learned, it's going to be awesome. And it's only going to make the industry of a higher standard. And to me, that's the ultimate goal of what we're doing here.
Yeah. I mean, hands down, you know, anyone can come up here and talk and send a message about the industry. But I think it's important to realize that there is no competition in the industry. And as long as you always look at it as the other landscapers aren't my competition, then you will excel far faster than what you could if you think everyone's out to get you. And so go into all these training classes and educational seminars and stuff like that. You know, it's really networking with all of them, because you'll find out that you're going to help them, they're going to help you. And somewhere down the road, you might realize like, well, crap, you're like a county over from me. I never heard of you. And now before you know it, you're working together, and you might have created a bond where like you may end up merging. You know, you may merge with them, they may merge with you, or you may go in together as a sub on a large scale project where, you know, you wouldn't have done that before. And so it's not that anyone's your competition. You know, you're out there in the industry like them, and as long as you're promoting the industry in a professional manner and you're licensed and you're certified and all the things that you're doing, then you're not going to fail. You can't fail. You've got you've got a whole network of people in the industry that want you to win because they want to win. So crashing the industry would crash them.
It makes you think of the anchor versus the tide.
Yeah.
The person who has a scarce mindset, they're the anchor. They're holding on real tight, and it's going to bring them down, and they're just going to sit at the bottom. Where the person who's abundant, they're open to lift everybody, that's the tide.
Yeah.
The rising tide doesn't pick a boat, it lifts all the boats. And to me, we're running a podcast like this. My hope would be that more companies would look and want to start a podcast instead of being like, oh, we can't do that because they're doing this or they're the bad guys. I would love for them to be like, hey man, how did you start this?
Yeah, or
how do you find time?
Honestly, even if they look at it and they're like, well, we're going to do it better.
Go for it. I swear to you, I will see that. Now you are the competition for me. Good, go higher than us, because that's where I'm going to aim and go above you, and there'll be like a back and forth. Competition, I'm a huge capitalist.
It's healthy.
Yes.
Competition's healthy.
I am for that type of lifestyle, to where you're trying to be your best and other people are trying to be better, and it's cool because it pushes you in a very healthy way. Like, who loses when everybody's landscapers and hardscapers trying to be better? Not the clients. They're going to win. They're going to have better service. When you're trying to outserve your clients, you're trying to outserve your employees, you're trying to outserve yourself, your family, your friends. Like, everybody wins when you're trying to just see what's out there. And again, back to going to Kentucky, that was very important for me because I got to see what it looked like, to like what great looks like. And I'm like, cool, let's go there. And talking about networking, who are the guys with the chemical truck? I ended up going to get the hose from them.
Yeah, we ran into Riddick Equipment Company out of Williamston, North Carolina, which is in our back door.
In Louisville.
Yeah, we met, ran into them in Louisville. And then I don't know why I didn't think about it. I've bought products from them before. Did not even put it together that's who they were. I mean, it was a younger age going there buying products, but then running to them in Louisville, talking with a guy, and he's like, "You're from Washington?" He was looking at my name tag, and I was like, "Yeah, where are you from?" He's like, "Williamston." I was like, "Well, it's kind of odd. We're meeting each other here." And then he tells me the name of his company. I was like, I mean, dude, we do business with you guys. I don't know why I never put all this together, that you would be here selling the equipment for the industry. So, small world, big network. So,
yeah, cool. When it comes to like, it's not what you know, but who you know. There's a lot of instances like that where it's happening over and over again. It's like, man, and this is something we'll be talking about at some point on the podcast, but like subcontracting, knowing people you can rely on are going to bring the same quality of care. I know we have done tree work where we knew individuals who had the equipment that
Yep.
could do something. I was thinking about those big pines near the house. You just sometimes refer because you'll get better care from them, and that's okay. If you're the anchor and you're hanging on to that, you're like, well, we'll try to do that, and you provide a sub-quality service, or you damage something, worst case.
Yep.
It's like, what did you really win there? And so to me, again, back to that abundant mindset, going into 2026, I have great abundance in my life. Friends, family, work, I'm overflowing, and I'm ready to just go and just get after it. And I'm just excited. And so it's going to be a good one, man.
Yeah, the new year is going to soar, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And I hope you guys have great plans for what y'all want to do in 2026. And all I can say is go after it. Don't let it sit idle. Gas pedal down. Achieve what you go after.
Last point. Congratulations to whoever wins this evening's drawing.
Yeah.
Because after this, in a couple hours, it's too late to get. I mean, you can try to get in if you want, but we got the wheel that's going to be fun pretty soon.
Yep.
So shout out to the winners of the fire feature and water feature. That was a really fun thing to do. So for all that put in, for all that tried, just joined and supported what we were doing. I mean, all that was a really cool experience. I really enjoyed it, and I'm just looking forward to seeing the winners and putting that all together and sharing that.